Hello students. Today we will discuss an important theorem on bounded linear transformation. But before that, let's see what is linear transformation and when linear transformation is said to be bounded. If VF and WF be two vector spaces over the same field of scalars F, then a mapping T from V to W is said to be linear transformation if number 1 T of x plus y equal to Tx plus Ty for all xy belonging to domain V. Number 2 T of alpha x equal to alpha into Tx for all x belonging to V and alpha belonging to F, which is field of scalars. When these two conditions are satisfied, we say that the mapping T is a linear transformation. Or if this one condition is satisfied for T, that is T of alpha x plus beta y equal to alpha into Tx plus beta into Ty, where x and y are elements of domain V and alpha beta are scalars, means alpha beta belong to F, which is the field of scalars. If this one condition is satisfied, then also we say that T is a linear transformation. So this is definition of a linear transformation. For definition of bounded linear transformation, this was definition of linear transformation. For definition of bounded linear transformation, let n and n dash be two normed linear spaces. A linear transformation T from n to n dash is said to be bounded if there exists a real number k greater than 0 such that norm of Tx less than equal to k times norm x for all x belonging to n. Here k is called bound for T. This is called bound for T. यहाँ पर डोमेन और कोडोमेन दोनों नॉर्म लीनियर स्पेसेस लिए गए हैं और नॉर्म स्पेसेस वेक्टर स्पेसेस तो होते ही हैं. सो बाउंडेड लीनियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन वो लीनियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है जिसमें डोमेन और कोडोमेन दोनों ही नॉर्म स्पेसेस हैं और ये कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होती है, दैट इज नॉर्म ऑफ Tx. x अगर n का एलिमेंट है देन Tx n डैश का एलिमेंट है. n डैश के एलिमेंट की नॉर्म लेस देन इक्वल टू k टाइम्स नॉर्म ऑफ एलिमेंट ऑफ दिस n, दैट इज x. Let's do a theorem whose statement is let n and n dash be normed linear spaces over the same field of scalars. That is, if n is a vector space over a field F, then n dash is also a vector space over the same field. N is a vector space over F, then n dash is a vector space over the same field. So we have n and n dash, two vector spaces which are actually normed linear spaces. We have to show that the following statements are equivalent. First, T is continuous. Second, T is continuous at the origin. Third, T is bounded. And fourth, if S is a closed unit sphere in N, that is S is set of those elements of N such that norm of X is less than 1. S एक क्लोज्ड यूनिट स्फीयर n में है, यानी n के उन एलिमेंट्स का सेट है जिनकी नॉर्म लेस देन 1 है. देन वी हैव टू शो दैट इट्स इमेज Ts is bounded set in n dash, means In the fourth part, we have T mapping from N to N dash, and S is a subset of N. We have to prove that if S is a closed unit sphere, then its image TS is a bounded set in N dash. In order to prove that these four statements are equivalent, we will go like this. We will prove that 1 is given and 2 will be proved. That means 1 implies 2, 2 implies 1, then 2 implies 3, 3 implies 2, and then 3 implies 4, and 4 implies 1. Like this we will go. So first part of the proof will go like this, that 1 will be assumed and second will be proved. Let's start the proof. 1 implies 2 means we have been given 1 and we will prove 2. That means what is given to us? It is given now in this part that T is continuous. T is continuous. We assume that T is continuous and we will prove that T is continuous at the origin. That will prove the part 2. Now this part is obvious because if T is continuous on N, this means T is continuous at every point of N. If T is continuous at every point of N, then 0 is also an element of N and T will be continuous on 0 also. So this part is obvious. If T is continuous on N, then T is continuous at every point of N. Therefore, T is continuous at origin also because this point also belongs to N. Next, we shall prove 2 implies 1. 2 implies 1. This means in this part, we will assume that T is continuous at origin and we will prove that T is continuous at every point of N. Assume that मीन्स हमें इसमें सेकेंड पार्ट को अज्यूम करना है और फर्स्ट पार्ट को प्रूव करना है. सेकेंड पार्ट क्या था? T is continuous at origin and we will prove that T is continuous at every point of N. To prove T is continuous at every point of N. T को हमें बताना है कि N के सारे पॉइंट्स पे कंटिन्यूस होगा अगर वो ओरिजिन पे कंटिन्यूस है. लेट a sequence xn in N. This means ये सीक्वेंस N को बिलोंग करती है such that sequence xn converges to X as N tends to infinity. That is, sequence xn minus X tends to 0 as N tends to infinity. Since we are given that T is continuous at origin, therefore sequence Txn minus X will converge to T0, which will belong to N dash. That therefore T of what is T? T is linear transformation. So we can write like this: T of xn minus T of x. This sequence converge to T0. Let it be 0 dash. This is a 0 element of the next second vector space N dash. Therefore, this sequence Txn tends to Tx belonging to N dash. So from where we started, we had taken a sequence in n which is converging to one element of n, and ultimately we have that t image of this sequence is converging to tx belonging to n dash. This shows that t is continuous at x. Therefore, t is continuous at x. And what was x? X was an arbitrary point of n. Therefore, t is continuous at every point of n, as x is an arbitrary point of n. अगर t n के एक आर्बिट्रेरी पॉइंट पे कंटिन्यूस है तो इसका मतलब t n के सारे पॉइंट्स पे कंटिन्यूस हैं. देयरफॉर t इज कंटिन्यूस एट एवरी पॉइंट ऑफ n. तो हमने देखा कि अगर कोई मैपिंग, कोई लीनियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन ज़ीरो पे कंटिन्यूस थी तो वो ज़ीरो जिस सेट को बिलोंग करता है ओरिजिन, उसको अगर टी ओरिजिन पे कंटिन्यूस थी तो टी उस एन के सारे पॉइंट्स पे कंटिन्यूस होगी. नाउ वी शैल प्रूव 2 implies 3. व्हाट वाज 2? टी इज कंटिन्यूस एट ओरिजिन. So this time we are given that t is continuous at origin. And we have to prove that t is bounded. T is bounded. We shall prove this with the help of contradiction. If possible, suppose t is not bounded. T is not bounded. अगर t bounded नहीं है तो therefore there exists no real k positive such that norm tx less than equal to k times norm x for all x belonging to n. अगर t बाउंडेड नहीं है तो ऐसा कोई भी रियल नंबर k एग्जिस्ट नहीं करेगा जो इसको सेटिस्फाई करेगा. यानी चाहे k को 1 ले लें, 2 ले लें, 3 ले लें, कुछ भी लें, पर k की किसी भी ऐसी वैल्यू के लिए नॉर्म tx लेस देन इक्वल टू k टाइम्स नॉर्म ऑफ x नहीं आएगा. अगर k की किसी भी रियल वैल्यू के लिए नॉर्म ऑफ tx k टाइम्स नॉर्म ऑफ x से लेस नहीं आएगा, इसका मतलब k की सारी वैल्यूज़ के लिए ये इससे ग्रेटर आएगा. तो वी कैन राइट दैट कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग टू ईच नेचुरल नंबर नॉर्म ऑफ टी एक्स एन ग्रेटर देन n टाइम्स नॉर्म एक्स एन, वेयर n कैन बी 1, 2 so on. यानी n की जगह पर 1 पुट कर दें तब भी ये लेस नहीं आएगा, 2 पुट कर दें तब भी ये लेस नहीं आएगा, हर केस में ये ग्रेटर आएगा. दिस implies norm txn into 1 over n times norm xn is greater than 1. We know that norm alpha x is equal to mod alpha into norm x, where mod alpha means which is greater than 0. यहाँ पर 1 over n into norm xn greater than 0 है, so we can take it as mod alpha. So mod alpha into norm of some element हो तो दैट इज इक्वल टू नॉर्म ऑफ अल्फ़ा अंदर चला जाता है, दैट इज टी ऑफ एक्स एन ओवर एन इंटू नॉर्म एक्स एन, that is greater than 1. This implies T of xn over n into norm xn is greater than 1 because T is linear transformation. So अगर अल्फ़ा इंटू टी एक्स हो तो उसको कैसे लिखा जा सकता है, T इंटू अल्फ़ा एक्स. हेयर अल्फ़ा मीन्स 1 over n इंटू norm xn. Of course n varies from 1 to infinity. Now consider norm of 1 over n xn upon norm xn, which is equal to 1 over n into norm xn into norm xn. रीज़न बीइंग सेम, ये स्केलर है और स्केलर को हम नॉर्म से बाहर लिख सकते हैं, विच इज़ इक्वल टू एक्स एन एंड एक्स एन इन नॉर्म गेट्स कैंसल्ड. वी विल बी हैविंग 1 by n विच टेंड्स टू 0 as n tends to infinity. We can write it as this, that xn over n into norm xn minus 0 tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. This implies sequence xn upon n into norm xn. This sequence tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. But what about t image of this sequence? T of xn over n into norm xn, this always remains greater than 0. This sequence of t images of this sequence, this is sequence of t images of this sequence, this never approaches to 0 because this is always greater than 1. This means that t is not continuous at origin. अगर टी ओरिजिन पे कंटिन्यूस होता तो जो सीक्वेंस ज़ीरो को कन्वर्ज करती है उसकी टी इमेज भी ज़ीरो को कन्वर्ज करती. बट अगर ऐसा नहीं हो रहा तो वी कैन से दैट टी इज़ नॉट कंटिन्यूस एट ओरिजिन, विच इज़ कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन बिकॉज in this part it is given to us that t is continuous at origin. So we are having contradiction because it's given that t is continuous at origin, but here we are getting that t is not continuous at origin. Here we can write this implies t is not continuous at origin. Here we are getting t is not continuous at origin, but it is given to us that t is continuous at origin. So that is a contradiction. This means our supposition is wrong. This means what we have assumed that t is not bounded, this is wrong. This implies that t is bounded. So we have proved that if t is continuous at origin, then t is bounded. Now we shall prove 3 implies 2. This means we will assume that t is bounded and we shall prove that t is continuous at origin. If t is bounded, then by definition there exists a real number k such that norm of tx is less than or equal to k times norm of x. As t is bounded, therefore by definition there exists a real number k greater than 0 such that norm tx less than or equal to k times norm x for all x belonging to n. Now let sequence xn be a sequence in N such that this sequence converges to 0. We have taken a sequence in N which is converging to 0, and in order to prove T is continuous at origin, we will ultimately prove that T of Xn converges to T of 0. Okay, if we prove this, that T of Xn converges to T of 0, this will prove that T is continuous at origin. अगर एक सीक्वेंस 0 को कन्वर्ज कर रही है और उसकी T इमेज उस T0 को कन्वर्ज कर रही है, तो यहाँ से प्रूव हो जाएगा कि T origin पर continuous है. Now we have given that this sequence is converging to 0. So by definition, norm of Xn minus 0 tends to 0 as n tends to infinity. From equation 1, norm of Txn or norm of Tx, whatever is been taken, norm of Tx is less than equal to k times norm of x. And this is true for all x belonging to n. If this is true for all x belonging to n, then this is true for xn also. So therefore, norm of Txn will be less than equal to k times norm of xn. And norm of xn is approaching to 0 as n is approaching to infinity. So what we have norm of Txn is approaching to 0 as n is approaching to infinity. We can write that norm of Txn minus 0, or let's cancel this because we had to prove it at last. I have just mentioned that what we wanted to prove. So we have now T of Xn minus 0, or I can write T of 0, because here Xn is an element of n and Txn is an element of n dash. Similarly, if 0 is a 0 element of the vector space n, then T0 be the 0 element of the vector space n dash. This is approaching to 0 as n is approaching to infinity. This implies that sequence Txn is converging to T0, which is belonging to n dash. This implies T is continuous at origin. So we have assumed that T is bounded and we have proved that T is continuous at origin. So the remaining theorem will be proved in the second part of this video.